back to another 12 Letters podcast episode. I am Indy. On this podcast, we discuss everything 12 letters. ABDL, BDSM, LGBT. Although I don't really consider myself to be LGBTQ+, an argument could be made for it. We'll get into that sometime. Today's topic of discussion is some of the things I'm seeing in online circles, ABDL specifically, that I'm not really fond of, and I think we need to talk about. Because if you're engaging in any of these behaviors, well, then I probably am at least not going to be very friendly toward you. This is gatekeeping, cliquiness, and cannibalism, and bigotry. Because believe it or not, as diverse as most of the subculture is, and as accepting as most of the subculture is, inclusive, there is still bigotry from within, and it leads to some pretty negative stuff that I've seen. But let's start with the gatekeeping. Telling other people that they don't qualify as ABDL for one reason or another, or saying that they're not really ABDL. Really, the only way you could not be ABDL is by not being an adult. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, if you fall under any of the categories for that very large umbrella term, then you are ABDL. Very early on in my channel, I had stumbled across another person's ABDL channel, and they were handing out advice after embracing ABDL for about 6 months, and they were trying to advise other people of what they should do. And I was like, hey bud, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, but you should probably be getting more experience before you try and give out advice. And the advice they were giving was not very good advice, and completely tone deaf, because they were recommending that people go out and buy little for big stuff, and I'm like, you obviously don't know the story there, bud. And I was very polite about it. I was like, hey, you might want to look into that before you go around giving people advice like that, and gain some more experience, and all that. But somebody in their comments basically started an argument with me about how certain people aren't really ABDL, and they aren't, because they're not healing trauma. They're not using ABDL to heal childhood trauma. They're not really ABDL, and they were just like looking down on them and speaking very disparagingly about the people who just embrace ABDL as fun and fulfilling. And I was like, hey, you're gatekeeping, and I'm not cool with that. One of the things that I really love about the world of ABDL is how inclusive it is. We have people from all walks of life. We have people from the whole gender spectrum, the whole sexuality spectrum. We have people from just like, a mix of, BDSM and ABDL and the whole DDLG, MDLB, MDLG, the whole thing. We have so many people and such a diverse group that, that you go to a large convention like Capcom and you just see everybody, you know, nobody's harshing anybody else. Nobody's, saying, no, you don't fit in. Yeah, you've got your little friend groups and stuff like that, and that's cool, but, you know, there's no, like, outright rejection of people. There's no gatekeeping there, There's nobody saying, oh, you're doing it wrong. The only way is to do it wrong is to not do it safe, sane, and consensually. And then on to the next gatekeeping thing that I've seen recently, or I guess just like somebody on Reddit was talking about engaging in sexual activity with somebody who's entered little space. And by entering little space, they no longer have the ability to consent. And I kind of, and they were very, very like this is equivalent to assault, and they were very, very extreme about it. And I'm like, that, I'm sorry, but no, I can't agree with that. I've engaged in, sexual play in little space before. This is the equivalent of telling me that, you know, once I enter subspace with my goddess, that my ability to consent has just been, is gone. Because once I get into subspace, it's a whole different mindset. I'm not in my normal mindset. It's no different with little space. Yeah, I'm not in my normal mindset, but you know, like the whole point of this thing is like to play your way. So if I get into little space and that ends up with a naughty change from a caregiver, then yeah, I'm good with that. That's why you consent and have these discussions beforehand. That's why things are negotiated. Is this going here? Is this going there? If you enter this headspace, I can see for some people they don't want to be sexual in little space. And that's fine. Don't. That's cool. I'm not saying, well, then you're not really ABDL. No, but don't tell me how to play. Don't tell me that I can't do that, or that it somehow, negates my consent when I go into little space. Oh, because I have the mindset of a child. But I'm not a child. That's it. Just, I'm sorry. If that's the rule you want to have for you, if that's where you draw the line in the sand, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly legitimate. And I'm it's valid. I'm not here to invalidate anyone, but don't do it to me, and don't do it to other people, and don't try and make rules. The only rules in any kind of kink is safe, sane, and consensual, and that's they say, well, oh, no minors is a rule. Well, yeah, but that falls under consensual. They're not of consenting age, so this nonsense of this gatekeeping tactic of no, you're not allowed to play that way because I view it this way. Hey, that's fine. But don't get on a public platform like Reddit and try and guilt other people and tell people that they can't do something just because you don't like it and it doesn't work for you. That's that. I got to stay calm because I get fired up by this kind of stuff. I just. So, the Cliques. Wow. Now There's a difference between cliques and friend groups. Friend groups, it's a normal thing. You've got people that you feel comfortable with and you've spent time around or spent a lot of time talking with and whatever, relating with them. Great. But this high school clickiness where one person doesn't like another person, so they get a group of people together to not like that person, or groups of people. There have been content creators that have, basically gone on campaigns to, harm other, not like physically harm, but reputationally harm other people. I, I stay out of that stuff. I don't want anything to do with it. If you're going to make claims about somebody or something or a certain company or whatever, bring receipts. Bring receipts. Back up your claims. Be able to demonstrate the truth of your claim. If somebody is doing harm to people, that is something that, as a subculture, we need to know about. If somebody is a predator within, our world, within our subculture, then yeah, people should be warned. But outside of that person's local area, who cares? If somebody on the East Coast is a predator, they're only affecting people on the East Coast. I'm in the Midwest. They aren't going to take advantage of me. They aren't going to harm me. They don't have any way to get to me but online, and it's words. It's words, so sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So talk all the smack you want. Say stuff about, I don't care, whatever. But yeah, don't come at me and try and convince me that this person is a bad person or whatever, and have absolutely nothing but trust me, bro. That's never going to fly with me for anything. That doesn't work. Sorry if I'm slurping my coffee. It's a little after 5 a.m. After this, I have to get ready for work. To drive to Chicago. It's not a bad drive, though. It's all right. And I get to see the Chicago skyline while I'm working, so that's always nice. And then we get into bigotry. This one really blows my mind. I mean, I guess it's to be expected to a certain extent, but Lord Almighty, the cognitive dissonance required for this blows my mind. Absolutely just baffles me. How in the world can you be ABDL and look at another person and be like, you're subhuman, like really? Do you realize where you stand? They act like, it's let's be frank, the people who are bigoted are typically cis-het Caucasians, and I have a very direct example of speaking with somebody on Reddit, and this I had to suppress the rage. And let me preface this with, I don't care if people are religious. You go ahead and be religious. That's fine. You want to believe in God? whatever, go. I don't personally. That's me. I, I I think I've mentioned this before. I subscribe to the Christopher Hitchens thought of, you're free to have the ball and play with the ball, but what you mustn't do is insist that I play with the ball. Leave me out of it. It doesn't have anything to do with me. But people were discussing, female CGs on Reddit, and a Reddit user, female, who is into DDLG, was explaining to the young men in there that, well, of course you're going to be single and lonely because no woman wants a man that they have to take care of. And I was like, hey, I'm going to have to push back on that a little bit there. I'm a single parent. I live alone when my daughter's not here. I take care of my house. I maintain my car. I do all of these things. The only thing I don't do is mow. I pay somebody to mow because I don't have that kind of time. I work way too much. But otherwise, dishes, laundry, vacuuming, cleaning dusting, all that. I do all that. I don't need somebody to take care of me. Her response was, well, I didn't say that males couldn't enjoy it in solidarity, which she meant solitude. Not so. Tells you the level of intelligence we're working with here. You'll see when we get there. She's like, I'm just saying that, that's not how men are supposed to be. That's ABDL males are undesirable to women because they're male ABDLs. It's like, that's, first of all, that's not true. And second of all, you're perpetuating a stereotype that is contributing to male, toxic masculinity, and you're pretty much helping to create new incels. This isn't good what you're doing. She came back at me with, well, I have 2 male children and being male isn't toxic. I'm like, no, I didn't say that being male is toxic. I'm talking about toxic masculinity, which is, making men suppress their emotions and not feel safe to express them, and not safe to express any kind of vulnerability. There's a difference there. And she was like, well, men are supposed to behave like men and women are supposed to behave like women, and we're not going to see eye to eye because your perception is not biblical. And right there I went, oh, I get it. Okay. And then she went on to try to explain to me how they have scientific evidence for Noah's Ark and the Pharaoh's chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea, which is not true. That's Ron Wyatt. That's young earth creationism. That is an extremist minority among evangelical Christians, mostly here in America. No, Ron Wyatt is wrong. And this has been all scientifically debunked. And she was like, no, I know who to believe. I know who to believe because I have a biblical worldview. And it's like, okay. But if you believe Ron Wyatt, I don't care what your worldview is. If you just believe Ron Wyatt, excuse my language, but you're a fucking idiot. It's a hot take, I guess, whatever. If you believe Ron Wyatt, then you're a fucking idiot. Because the guy is a shyster. He's a grifter, But yeah, that I've seen other similar types of things, you know, and that's really what the name 12 letters is really all about is, you know, everybody that falls under these 12 letters, because a lot of people consider ABDL to be a subset of BDSM. I think there's an argument there. And I don't have a problem with that. But, you know, we need to be inclusive. You know, we need some Jedi. You know, justice, equality, diversity, and inclusivity. We need that, and we need it now more than ever. Because Project 2025 is the thing. And if you don't know about Project 2025, you need to go out and find out about it. Because it's very dangerous. And the people like this woman that I was speaking with, who think that they're not going to become a target because they're white, hetero, Christian evangelicals, you're still a weirdo with the rest of us. Guess what? The leopard's going to eat your face too. They're not going to, if anybody in your circle, in your camp, finds out what you are, you're in just as much danger as the rest of us. So as much as you want to exclude other people and you want to exclude yourself and you want to have some kind of privilege that you think saves you from the harm that things like Project 2025 are going to do, think again. Because look at what happened with Patreon. They called what we were doing and what we do sexualizing minors. Guess what one of the main points in Project 2025 is? The sexualization of minors. If you think they're not going to come after us too, you are out of your fucking mind. They will come after us too. And this is why we all need to stand together. We need to stand with our LGBTQ plus members and even the LGBTQ plus who aren't ABDL. We need to stand with them too. We all need to stand together. Anybody that doesn't fall under that heteronormative column, everybody that's outside that box needs to stand together. Because if we don't, I mean, look at what's happened over the years and look at where we're at now. How many gay people had to die? How many trans people have had to die? And what makes you think that we won't be next? I'm not saying that we are definitely next, but we're every kind of kink. Every kind of kink is on that list. Sex workers are on that list. Models and people that, and especially now that we have the ability to redo and revamp the adult entertainment industry by giving the power back to the actors and actresses that perform these scenes, that film these scenes. A lot of these content creators are solo content creators and they have like just for fans and things like that, where they're producing content and they're in control and they're the ones making the money. We have this new thing that's developing and they just want to snatch it all away and say, no, you're going to do things our way or not at all. And we can't have that. That is one of the most un-American things I can think of. And, for our international audience, I know that doesn't really affect you as much, but believe me, it's not going to be good for the rest of the world. If we have we already have a very conservative Supreme Court that's handed down some very interesting rulings lately. The last thing we need is a conservative administrative branch, the executive branch. We don't need the conservatives monopolizing our government. That's not going to be good for anybody, except for the conservatives and the rich, the powerful and rich elite. That'll be good for them. It's going to suck for the rest of us. And like I said, if you think, like me, I pass for normal. Nobody, like, there are people who know, but it's close friends and some family. We'll talk some more about that later. Basically, I started telling people and talking to people about it because I don't like the hardline attitude of you shouldn't talk about this with anyone. You don't discuss kink with your family. Blah 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 blah. Look, how are we going to mitigate the taboo around all kink, not just ABDL, but all kink, if we don't talk about being kinky and what it means to be kinky and taking the fear out of it. That's basically what it comes down to, is people are afraid of kinky people because they don't know. They don't understand, and they think it's scary and dangerous, and it really isn't. It's just fun and playful and using your imagination. That's all it is. It's just growing up play and growing up pretending. A little dash of reality to make it fun. And that's nothing to be afraid of. And if we're going to destigmatize kink play and destigmatize sex work, whether that's in-person sex work or online or, content creation, whatever, then we have to have these discussions. People need to be educated. And, like I said, I think in the last episode, I'm not here to be a freak show. I'm not here to put it on display and, force that cringe factor for people. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want people to be educated enough to where if they find this out about anyone, like they find out anyone in their life is a kinky person, they're not going to immediately have that knee-jerk, negative response and have that fear of that other person, because that's dumb. It's unnecessary. We're just people that have fun doing weird shit. All right, so that's about all the time I really got. Need to think about getting ready for work here and getting on with my day. So before I go, you probably noticed some changes to things. Trying to kind of grow and experiment a little bit. So we'll see how that works out. So, till next time, stay strong, stay friendly, stay positive, and stay 12 letters. We'll see you.
In a world of whispers, secrets unfold. 12 letters speak, stories untold. Finding light in the dimmest of times. Love and truth in all their kind. 12 letters written in the night. Unravel tales, both dark and bright. Whispers carry through the wind, voices strong despite the din. 12 letters, secrets to be found. In the silence they resound, strumming chords in a gentle refrain. Voices join in a soft harmony. 12 letters shared through joy and pain, tales of love in our community. 12 letters, stories we confide. In the quiet they survive. In the heart of the silence, 12 letters we trace. Gentle echoes in this sacred space. Love and truth with light in their grace. Soft whispers of stories we embrace. In a quiet room where whispers grow, 12 letters speak tales we know. Through voices strong yet soft and clear, we bind our stories year by year. 12 letters, secrets shared aloud. In the hush, we're unbowed.